Hello, District 68. This is Christy Killily. I am your PR manager for the district, and I am joined by Gant Laborde. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Just Laborde.
Just Laborde. I keep doing that. Gant
That's okay.
Laborde. Okay, so the E is silent, everyone. The E
Yes,
is
yeah,
silent.
it's classic French, so it's as annoyingly pronounced as possible.
Okay. I like that. All right, Gant Laborde. All right, I'm joined by Gant Laborde, who was our January member spotlight of the month. So I'll be asking him some questions, and we'll get to learn more about him and more about his journey through Toastmasters. So to begin, what was your original reason for joining Toastmasters?
So I was originally asked to go ahead and watch a friend speak. I did not know it was going to be at Toastmasters whatsoever. I went in there and I saw him speak, and then they asked me to do a table topic, and I was so nervous. I used to be absolutely frightened, devastated, and anxiety. And so what I decided to do is oh, look at that internet problems.
It
Did you
did.
get everything I said?
It paused for like a second,
Okay, good.
or a few seconds. Yeah.
So what I did is they asked me to speak and I saw what Toastmasters was and I said, "Oh, this is that moment where I can finally take all those fear stories, all those terrible times that had happened before, and there were a lot. I was like, I can finally kind of really work on my ability to communicate in public speaking in groups." And so I went to the club every single week, which is New Orleans Toastmasters meets every Monday. And I was nervous every single week, but I spoke just a little bit. And that happened for every single month until on the third month, I went there and they didn't call on me for anything. I didn't have a role. I didn't get a table topic. I didn't have anything. And the meeting concluded, and I said, "Aw, they didn't call on me." And that was the moment I realized. I was like, "Hey, it's gone." I finally like really got a hold of what was there, and I didn't let go. I haven't let go since. Now I speak all over the world. I speak at conferences. I speak in front of thousands of people. The hard part is just getting me to shut up.
I love that. So you were nervous at first, and then
Oh
you
yeah,
just got, I'm sure you got less nervous the more you did it, and then
yeah,
you became confident in
yeah,
your speaking, and now you speak in front of thousands of people.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite things to do now, which if you could go back in time and tell me that, I would have thought you were crazy.
Right. Yeah, I know. Me too. I feel the same way. So I I'm sure your reason for continuing in Toastmasters is something along those lines of just being more
Yeah.
confident and improving your speaking skills, but you can maybe elaborate a little bit more about why you continue to go to
Yeah.
Toastmasters and what it does for you now.
Oh yeah, right now, so everybody gets in Toastmasters to just get over fear most of the time. Nobody's thinking about leadership. Nobody's thinking about giving a quality presentation. They're just trying to not feel terrible. And then once you get past that, you start to feel something else start to burn, right? You start to feel a little bit of desire show up. And when that desire shows up, a new goal is up there in front of you and you look at it and you want to achieve it. Maybe that's becoming president of a club. Maybe that's you leading something at work. Maybe that's your project that you do for distinguished toastmaster, or maybe it's just becoming a distinguished toastmaster. All these different things, the goals come and go, but as long as you're actually taking care of that essential desire, then there's always going to be new goals. There's going to be new ways to connect. There's going to be new ways to improve. And I know Toastmasters is full of serial self improvers. You can mention a self improvement book in there, And almost always you've got someone, oh, I read this, or I thought this was good, or that. And I love being in that kind of atmosphere. It's right there in the mission statement, a supportive and positive learning environment in which we're empowered. And just being in that space, especially after a pandemic where there wasn't anything close to something like that. It's the spot where I see people go and I see them happy and I see myself happy. So I've always got people to help. Always got things to work on for myself. And I've always got a community where I know I'll be welcome.
Yeah, that's what I love about Toastmasters as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great. It's fantastic. And look, the goals are great. Trophies are great, right? They're fun, but nobody gets buried with their trophies. It's really about what we get to keep is the experiences.
Cool. Was there anything about Toastmasters that surprised you after joining?
Yeah, I didn't expect to see that communication is the other side of the coin of leadership. Did not expect that. Did not expect to grow as a leader. Didn't expect to grow as a manager and a leader. I think those are two separate things, and there are some aspect there of pushing you outside your comfort zone. But I tell you this, there's a wise saying that says, "Never work with volunteers, kids, or pets." Right? It's just unmanageable. But if you can make people do successful things in a volunteer organization like Toastmasters, that's a superpower that you take into all your aspects of life. You know, of course, anybody can pull rank at work and say that, yeah, of course, you have to do this. But motivating a person to want to do something is an art form and it is beautiful and it makes you and them happy to do it. You
Mhm,
know, nobody wants to be told what to do, everybody wants to be motivated to do better. And I think that I didn't know that joining it. I didn't know that was coming.
mhm.
And once that sort of showed up, I welcomed it. And to this day, it's one of the more valuable aspects, even more so than communicating to larger groups, is connecting with the hearts and minds of larger groups.
Yeah, that is a very rewarding part of it. I didn't expect the leadership part either. Uh,
Yeah.
but it is good to have those leadership skills, and obviously the communication skills are a part of it as well. That is
Mhm.
constantly something that you work on and evolve in its
Yeah.
process. Uh, so my next question is, tell us about a time when you utilize something you gain from Toastmasters in your professional or personal life.
Oh yeah. There's plenty. There's plenty. One that's one of my favorites is I was an MC at a conference, and this was a conference with 500 people. And the intro video for the conference is a technical conference. The video did failed to play. And this was the big intro video. This was the big one. This is like tells you everybody you're going to see for the day, all the things that are going to happen. And they hit the button, it starts playing, and then it locks up. And I'm backstage with one of the main organizers, and he goes, "What?" He looks at me as the MC and he says, "What do we do?" And I said, "I got this." And I grabbed the microphone and then I ran out on stage and said, "It can't be a technical conference without a technical glitch." And as everybody was ready, that from Toastmasters, the audience wants success. They want to see you succeed. They want to be entertained. Sure, you want to see people fail in reality shows, but nobody wants to watch a reality show in real time. They want to see something amazing. They want to see the performer go through danger and then win and land and do well,
Mhm,
right? Unless, of course, maybe it's NASCAR. But what I think is everybody was afraid to take the stage behind the mistake to tell them that things are fine, things are going to go great, and let's go ahead and let's kick this off and let's all have a good time. And just went straight into telling people the things that they needed to know for the day and the MC parts of that. And I think back about, scared, frail version of myself wouldn't have been on that stage, would have much less would have ever said, I'm going on after a failure. But Toastmasters has showed me that the people are sitting there and the room is excited to feel that connection. They're excited to be there. That more important than that video that tells them what's going on for the day, they want to see, and they left their house to be at a conference, to see, talk to, and be connected with a person. And so when that moment happened and everybody was afraid, like what happened, the technology failed, that's when the Toastmasters come out, right? That's when we handle those issues, when we're happy to go ahead and see how can we do this? Give me the change, give me the table topic, give me the new problem. I want to see how this goes. And when we do that, I think everybody wins. So that was definitely 1000% attributed to Toastmasters putting me in a comfortable space.
Very good. That was a really good story.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad.
I liked it. All right. How have you changed since you joined Toastmasters? And you can give us an example of that.
Sure. Well, obviously the fear, obviously the leadership. But I think one of the best things that's happened is I have a lot more oxytocin in my life. I take pleasure from seeing other leaders grow and succeed. I take pleasure in seeing other people do great things. And, you know, I think that lots of people get very competitive with one another and to a toxic degree, right? And toxic competitiveness has a hangover. But at Toastmasters, we're not we're not connecting people that way. If you need someone to tell you you can't to go ahead and make you do it, you're in the wrong club. You're in the wrong space. You're surrounded by people who say, yes, you can. Yeah, you can go do it. Go ahead and do it today. Do it tomorrow. Write that speech. Be in that competition. Do fantastic. You did wonderful. Here's how you can do better. And that kind of environment is, well, it's a bit unique from a competitive guy who's always in competition, who has to win the stuff and do really well. It's very different to be around a place where I see someone get up there and give a speech and I feel almost as happy as they are after they're done. Right? I didn't expect to have that happen to me. And I think that that's the social chemical. That's oxytocin. That's watching somebody drop their wallet across the street and watching another person pick it up and go chase them down and hand it to them. It makes my life more fulfilled, and I think it makes the world a better place.
I like that. I think so too.
Yeah. It really is. It really is a better place when we are all helping plant the trees that we're not even going to get to enjoy the shade of going forward. Like watching people grow and succeed, watching new people lead the club that you used to be a president of. Some people get stuck, like especially at jobs. They're like, I'm the only person who knows this job, and they become irreplaceable. And some people love that.
Mm.
It's weird. I love being replaceable. I love doing the thing to make people replace me now. It's weird.
Wow. Fun. How has serving in leadership roles in Toastmasters benefited you?
How has leadership roles, how has it done what for me again?
Benefited you? Is there any
Oh,
benefits you feel like
yeah,
with the leadership? And I think you've kind of talked about it a little bit now, but I mean,
right.
I think you love seeing people grow and
Yeah,
replace you in roles you were in. And
yeah. Well, I mean, at the same time, I've looked up to people in leadership at Toastmasters. Mohammed Qayyum was
yeah.
a past district director, and I remember competing against him at one point and be like, man, this guy is really good. But I'm glad I never there's not a competition for leadership. He was such an inspiring leader to lead the district, what he did and how he had the care and attention to detail beyond anything I've ever seen before. So it's a safe place, not just for practicing your communication, not just for practicing on yourself, not just for figuring out how to give evaluation, feedback, and impromptu speaking, but to see other leaders, to see what works for them and say, I can't. And I think that that's one of the great things about the way it's set up is that we have an entire district full of leaders training and helping each other.
Yeah, for sure. I think that as well. What would you tell a person who is on the fence about joining Toastmasters?
Oh, yeah. Well, most of the time, person who's about to join Toastmasters is really interested in working on how they can communicate. That's the first thing that brings most people in. It's usually not leadership, although it could be. But my answer is the same regardless. It is you can't read a book about how to swim. You're going to have to get wet. You have to. And what other place is there where you can get up there and you can actually go swimming every week? You can go get in the pool where you can actually do those things. You can read all the self-help books you want. You can read them all. But theory without practice is empty. And you really do need that serious, concrete, tangible, tactile moment of connecting in and talking to people in person, to talk in front of a group, to see them, to make the unfamiliar familiar. And you can't get that without joining. You can't get that without going and standing in front of people and doing it. No matter how much that scares you, you have a safe place where you could do as little or as much of that as possible. But I say about swimming, I mean, like you're not going to be able to read about working out and then do really well with like and add muscles or fitness. You have to go to the gym. You have to get in the pool. You have to get wet. You have to get on the bike. So this is the place. And if there's a better place, I've never seen it. It's already there for you. It's available worldwide with a community with a singular mission where you know exactly what you're getting.
Mm.
I'll say one other thing. The price point is wonderful.
Yeah,
I can't think of another place where you're spending um, that small amount of money to get that much progress out of it.
yeah. And it is, I think, what you put into it too. Of course,
But yeah,
the the
absolutely.
uh the thing is when you join, I think some don't maybe realize there are some work outside meetings and that you have to do it, but that's how you get the full value of what we paid for. So
Yeah, absolutely.
agree with you. All right. So there's usually one objection I hear as a
Yeah.
Toastmaster about people who don't want to join Toastmasters because they're like, oh no, I can't do that because I'm afraid of public speaking. So what do you say when people say that to you? Like, I can never do that. I'm too afraid to do public.
Well, if they say they could never do that, they should know that a lot of us, including myself, um, were not capable of speaking. It's a skill. It's something you learn.
Mhm.
It's not something that is immediately natural or inside of your innate programming. People have different skill levels of all this stuff, but it is a skill and it is a thing that anybody learns. Without doing it, without practicing it, you're going to stay at this current skill level that you're at, and it's going to control you. Almost every time I talk to people, I say, name the reason why you couldn't get up in that uncomfortable conversation right there. It all traces back to fear, unfamiliarity, not actually being ready for something. And I tell people this, the amount of uncomfortable conversations and situations that you can put yourself in that you used to not put yourself in ultimately controls the trajectory of your success. So today, what if I told you I can make you bilingual with a snap of my fingers? I can make you bilingual, right? And I could snap my fingers today and you could go enjoy a whole nother country, a whole nother culture, a whole nother set of movies, a whole nother set of music to a level that's amazing. Or I could snap this finger on your deathbed, right? When do you want me to snap my finger? When do you want to overcome this incapability of yours? You want me to snap my finger as soon as possible. You want that wish, you want that moment, you want that thing that is stopping you from connecting to everybody around the world to happen as soon as possible.
Mhm.
So, knowing that it's a talent, knowing that it's something you practice, and knowing that it's something that you can go and achieve, you
We're back.
okay. The closing of that was you get that by doing it as soon as you can. That's it. You want it today.
Yeah, I agree. That was very well said. Love
Oh,
that.
thank you. I think about these things.
I could tell. I could tell you gave it a lot of thought. Is there anything else that you want to share with uh Toastmasters out there in District 68?
Yeah. Yeah. I will say this. For those of us who are distinguished, this is your time to give back. Anybody who's a distinguished Toastmaster, it might look like the world's moving on. It might look like you've done your service or that you've helped out or that things are changing. I can tell you this, the clubs need us now more than ever. They really do. District 68, that I know that like back when Katrina hit, it must have been absolutely devastating for Toastmasters locally. Right now, Toastmasters has been devastated globally. All your favorite clubs, all your favorite groups, all the same bridges and ladders that you enjoyed to grow and be the person that you are. If you learned from Toastmasters, this is the day you give back. The clubs need your help, leadership needs your help. And it's probably the most rewarding work you could ever do in Toastmasters is right now. The opportunity of jumping in once it's back is going to be sure, well done. you it's you came back after we rebuilt, and you'll be appreciated, and it's a wonderful place. But the moments right now are brand new people who don't know how to be a president of a club, who don't know how to be a VP of education, who don't know what a district competition is, and they don't know what division competitions are. They don't understand all the different benefits that they could possibly get.
Mhm.
Those people are looking for leaders right now. And if you've received that, this is your call to action to go ahead and give it.
What a call to action. You're giving it out there. I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. That's good. That's
I, I
good.
I really do owe a lot to Toastmasters. So I have a
Mm,
lot that
yeah.
I need to give back with interest.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. I've benefited quite a bit from Toastmasters myself.
Yeah,
I understand. Well, thank you so much for joining me today on
very
this
welcome.
Zoom and this interview. So I really appreciate your time, and um everyone will
Yeah.
see this pretty soon. So
Awesome. Yay.
thank you
Good.
just for your well thought words and everything. And
Thanks.
I hope
And
you have a good night.
yeah, thanks so much. And if anybody needs any help or consideration, um, test me on what I'm saying. I've already been chief judge for a competition. I'm always happy to help. If
Cool.
people are building back a game plan, a growth plan, anything that you need, let's connect
Awesome.
up and let's kind of see how to help District 68.
All right. Sounds good.